Sup y'all, bringing you guys another video. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more boxing and please hit that like button. It helps out the video, it helps out the channel. I'd really appreciate it. So, who do you guys think would win in a fight between Manny Pacquiao, the Pac-Man, boxing's legend, one of the greatest of all time to ever lace up the gloves, definitely the greatest from the Philippines in my opinion, versus Terence Bud Crawford, who is considered one of the top pound-for-pound boxers today? Who do you guys think would win in a fight between these two guys? And we're not talking about, prime versus prime. We're talking about currently, right now. Let's say this fight happens in 2021. Who do you guys think would win? Pacquiao is already in his 40s. Terence Crawford is in his early 30s. Now, this fight has been talked about for quite some time now. I mean, 5 years ago, we thought, or not 5 years ago, maybe like 3 years ago, we thought that this fight was going to happen during the time when Pacquiao was still with Top Rank. It was a reality at the time, considering that both fighters were under the same promoter. Business-wise, it would have happened. It made sense business-wise for Top Rank to try to make this fight. But obviously, Pacquiao left Top Rank. Pacquiao went to do his own thing. He fought under Golden Boy. He fought and worked with Golden Boy Promotions when he fought Lucas Matisse. He worked with Al Heyman and PBC when he fought Keith Thurman. He's done his own thing, and Pacquiao could easily just retire right now. He's at the point of his career where he can retire whenever he wants. And honestly, if he decides to retire right now, I can't blame him. He's in his 40s. He's happy with his life. He's a senator in the Philippines. He has other things to do, to keep him busy, not just boxing. So if he decides to retire right now, good for him. And it would be a sad moment because Pacquiao is the one that I grew up watching. He's one of my all-time favorite boxers. He's pretty much the one that made me start watching boxing. He's the one who made me a fan of the sport. So Pacquiao to me is up there in my list of my favorites all time. And he still has it. Right now at the age of 41, 42, he still has it. He still has it. He proved it against Keith Thurman. Terence Crawford recently just fought. ESPN considers him the number one pound-for-pound king after Lomachenko lost. In my opinion, I don't think so. Right now, in my opinion, the number one pound-for-pound king is Saul Canelo Alvarez. But Terence Crawford is up there, top 10, top 5 pound-for-pound. In my opinion, Pacquiao is still top 10, in my opinion. After what he did to Keith Thurman, definitely top 10, in my opinion. So, both guys are, at least in my opinion, in the top 10 at this moment today. So, it's definitely a fight that I would love to see. Pacquiao hasn't fought. Oh, here's another thing that why I'm making this video is because after Terence Crawford defeated Kell Brook, he talked about how they nearly made this fight. He talked about how this is the fight he wants against Manny Pacquiao, that the Middle East offered a lot of money, that the money's there to make this fight, but because of the pandemic, because of the coronavirus going on, it prevented this fight from happening. Because spectators won't be allowed, and in the Middle East, I guess they can, do things, loop around and find a way to allow spectators to be shown. But the coronavirus kind of messed things up, at least according to Terence Crawford and his team. But anyway, Pacquiao, age 41 years old right now, so he's turning 42. So by next year, he'll be 42. He hasn't fought at all this year, 2020. Last time in the ring was against Keith Thurman. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention about Adrian Broner. Which is another fight that he worked with Al Heyman and PBC. So 2020, we don't know how much Pacquiao has aged. 1 year is a long time, and I'm sure if you follow him on social media, he stays busy. He goes to the ring, he goes to the gym, he stays active, he trains with his son also. His son is like getting into boxing as well. He's staying active, and for a 41-year-old, he's in great shape. Terence Crawford is still in his early 30s, 33 years old. And, he definitely has the age advantage. And he has the height, he has the reach to definitely give Manny Pacquiao some problems. Now, if we were talking about this fight taking place 3-4 years ago when Pacquiao was obviously more fresh in his feet, because if you watch a Keith Thurman fight in the second half, he kind of slowed down a little bit, and I feel like Pacquiao at this age he doesn't have that same energy as he was 5 years ago, as he did 5 years ago. So if they were to fight right now, Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford, it's definitely a fight that Terence will be the favorite. He's younger, he's taller, he's the naturally bigger guy at this moment. It just would be tough for Manny Pacquiao. And honestly, I don't know how they're saying that this fight was almost done. To be honest, I don't think Pacquiao is willing to fight Terence Crawford unless the money is really there. Unless whoever it is in the Middle East is offering that much money that Manny Pacquiao is willing to take the risk to fight Terence Crawford in a title unification fight. Because by the way, if you guys didn't know, Manny Pacquiao is the world champion. He's one of the world champions. He's a WBA world champion. He's one of the title holders. And Terence Crawford holds the WBO, so it will be a title unification fight. So, as a fan of the sport, definitely I would love to see this fight. I would love to see this fight. As a fan of both boxers, as a fan of Pacquiao and Terence Crawford, I would love to see this fight. But with that being said, it's less competitive compared to if this fight were to happen 3-4 years ago when it was actually about to happen. If Pacquiao didn't lose to Jeff Horn, which a lot of people consider the controversial fight, if Pacquiao didn't lose to Jeff Horn, I'm pretty sure we would have seen this fight. I'm pretty sure we would have seen Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford by now. I'm pretty sure. But then again, we probably wouldn't have seen Manny Pacquiao fight Lucas Matisse, Adrian Broner, Keith Thurman. But I think this fight would have definitely... Hell, who knows? Maybe Pacquiao would retire right now. You never know, right? But, we go with what's happening currently. And right now, as much as I love Manny Pacquiao, I just can't see him beating Terence Crawford at this moment. I still give Pacquiao a great chance. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's still a spectacular fighter at the age of 42 next year. He's still a spectacular fighter. He's still one of the best today. At the age of 41, he could beat a lot of the top welterweights, 140 pounders, junior super lightweights. He could beat a lot of these fighters, in my opinion. But Terence Crawford is probably the one that is the toughest, in my opinion, the toughest fight to be made for Manny Pacquiao at 147. But we'll see. I mean, I'll keep you guys updated on when we actually see this fight. I mean, like I said, it's been talked about for the past 3-4 years now if you've been following the sport. But if whatever, if Crawford's whatever he's saying is true about the Middle East offering a lot of money, hell, we might actually see this fight in the near future. Once the coronavirus pandemic cools down a little bit. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys think would win? And I'm talking about right now. We're not talking about prime versus prime, right? We're talking about right now. Because obviously when it comes to prime versus prime, that's a little different. When Pacquiao in his prime, he was something else. Legend in the sport, man. Manny Pacquiao. Legend in the sport. Arguably the greatest of this generation. So, and imagine if he beats Crawford. Jesus. Yo. If this fight actually happens next year, and Manny Pacquiao beats Terence Crawford, definitely GOAT. GOAT all time, in all generations, put combined. GOAT Manny Pacquiao. Greatest of all time. But, that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't yet. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. Please, and like always, have a great day. Alright, thanks.